Hello and welcome back to the History of World. Today, we travel back over 2.5 millennia to the vast plains of Persia, where a mighty empire rose under the banner of greatness, order, and absolute power. The Persian Empire, often called the Empire of the Kings of Kings, was not just a dominion of soldiers and palaces. It was a civilization that united the ancient world under one of the most extraordinary systems of governance ever seen. Our story begins around 550 BC, when a young and ambitious leader named Cyrus II, better known as Cyrus the Great, rose from the rugged mountains of ancient and modern-day Iran. In an age when empires were built through endless conquest and cruelty, Cyrus brought something revolutionary: vision, tolerance, and justice. He began by overthrowing the powerful Median Empire, then turned his gaze westward to conquer the wealthy kingdom of Lydia and the mighty Babylon itself. But what made Cyrus truly great was not only the vastness of his conquests, it was how he ruled. When he entered Babylon, he did not burn its temples or enslave its people. Instead, he restored their gods, rebuilt their sanctuaries, and allowed exiled peoples, including the Jews, to return to their homeland. For this, he was remembered not just as a conqueror, but as a liberator, the kind of ruler who understood that an empire built on respect could last far longer than one built on fear. Cyrus established the foundation of the Achaemenid dynasty, the first Persian empire, and his vision would echo across centuries. After his death, his son Cambyses II continued the legacy, conquering Egypt and stretching Persian dominion from the Indus Valley to the sands of the Nile. But Cambyses' reign was short and troubled. After his mysterious death, a nobleman named Darius I, known to history as Darius the Great, took the throne. It was under Darius that the Persian Empire reached its true height, a realm so vast that ancient writers said it encompassed 1/5 of all humanity. Darius ruled not merely as a king, but as an organizer of worlds. He divided the empire into provinces called satrapies, each governed by a satrap, a regional governor loyal to the throne. He built an efficient tax system, established a network of royal roads, and created a courier service so swift that, as the ancient saying goes, neither snow nor rain nor darkness of night could stop the Persian messenger. The most famous of these routes was the Royal Road, stretching over 700 kilometers from Sardis to Susa, allowing messages and trade to flow across continents. But Darius was also a builder. His greatest masterpiece was Persepolis, a city not of war but of ceremony, a place where kings from across the empire came to offer tribute to the Persian monarch. Its grand staircases, adorned with carvings of Medes, Egyptians, Babylonians, and Greeks carrying gifts, symbolized the unity of many peoples under one crown. It was here that the Persian concept of King of Kings came alive. The idea that the ruler of Persia was not merely a sovereign of one nation, but the lord of all lands and peoples under heaven. Yet even in its greatness, the empire faced challenges. In 499 BC, the Ionian Greeks, living under Persian rule, rebelled. This sparked a conflict that would echo through history, the Greco-Persian Wars. Darius sent his armies across the Aegean, determined to bring the defiant Greeks to heel. But in 490 BC, at the plains of Marathon, a small Athenian force defeated the mighty Persian army. Darius's death soon after left the task unfinished, and it was his son, Xerxes I, who sought revenge. Xerxes gathered one of the largest armies the ancient world had ever seen, by some accounts over 1 million soldiers, and marched westward. His fleet shadowed him along the coast, while his engineers built the legendary bridge of boats across the Hellespont, connecting Asia to Europe. The Persian tide seemed unstoppable, cities fell, and Athens itself was burned. Yet at Salamis, the outnumbered Greek fleet dealt Xerxes a devastating blow. It was a turning point, not the end of the Persian Empire, but the beginning of its slow retreat from the shores of Greece. Despite these defeats, Persia remained the world's superpower for nearly 2 centuries. Under kings like Artaxerxes I and Darius III, the empire continued to govern an astonishing mosaic of cultures, from the deserts of Arabia to the mountains of Afghanistan, from the Black Sea to the Nile. Persian law, language, and administration shaped civilizations long after its fall. The empire's official language, Aramaic, became the tongue of diplomacy and trade across much of the ancient world. But every empire, no matter how mighty, must one day face its end. In 334 BC, a young Macedonian general named Alexander the Great crossed into Asia with a dream to conquer the world. The Persians, now weakened by internal strife and the complacency of power, were unprepared for the relentless advance of Alexander's army. At Issus and Gogumla, Persian might crumbled. The last Achaemenid king, Darius Roman III, fled and was betrayed by his own men. With his death, the great Persian Empire, the first true global superpower, fell into history, yet its legacy did not die. The Persian idea of empire, based on tolerance, law, and order, would influence the Greeks, the Romans, the Byzantines, and even the Islamic caliphates that came centuries later. The vision of Cyrus the Great lived on in the ideals of governance, in the respect for human rights, and in the dream of a world united not by fear, but by justice. Today, as we walk among the ruins of Persepolis or read the words inscribed on the Cyrus cylinder, often called the world's first charter of human rights, we can still feel the heartbeat of that ancient world, a world where the King of Kings once ruled, and where the idea of empire was born. This was the story of the Persian Empire, the Kings of Kings, a civilization of power, wisdom, and enduring glory, whose influence still echoes through the corridors of time. Thank you for watching, and until next time, remember, history is not just the story of the past, it is the mirror of our present and the map to our future.